You're saying you put a pineapple in the back seat and you lost 2 rubbers.
Absolutely
that sounds
bonkers.
like par for the course.
Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions.
I have additional questions.
I am additionally afraid to ask.
Oh my god! What's going on tonight? It's not our normal. We thought you guys were a little bit too sane, so we lined up to give you your dose of taint a day early for important reasons.
I was a little worried about you for a second there. It almost was like you were doing Lucky Charms.
Ooh, was I doing Lucky Charms?
For a second, when you started, you were like, "Oh, what's going on today?" And I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
What does that sound like? Either a really old reference to shrooms or a really new reference to shrooms?
Both.
Welcome to another Black Tower episode. Tonight we're going to be talking about some very important things.
Okay, guys. I usually do a fairly good accent here on the Black Tower, but I'm pretty sure that we just found Josh's just like the best
Pièce de résistance.
The pièce de résistance de Soravan Mihail. Because that was fantastic.
all the American people are like, dude, that was great. And all the British people are like, oh my god, can you stop, please?
You're not supposed to be British.
Embarrassing.
I thought you were going for Irish. I'm not even gonna lie.
I was going for
I'm pretty
Irish.
sure that all of the Irish people just went, "What did you just fucking call us? You little shite."
Hey, what did you fucking say?
We're from the. We might be
fucking drinking rum.
We're not fucking.
What the fuck is he doing?
You take that back right now.
Is that what happens? Like every Jordan Con you wear your kilt to, your like Irish accent, even though that's like a Scottish thing, just gets better.
Would you like a bit of me taint on your tongue?
Wow.
Or maybe it's your Scottish
impressive.
accent, but it's got to go through Ireland first.
Oh,
it's my great is what you're saying.
Can I just say,
Anyway.
I started this with a compliment, and now we're going to get canceled by every single UK person we know ever.
We
Not
love
yet.
you.
I mean, the UK maybe, not the Irish. They've got thick skin. Not saying that the UK inherently has thin skin. But
Yeah, they do. I'm okay with that.
We're just gonna keep digging ourselves into like the Irish are
Ancient
tougher than the
Chinese
English,
proverb.
obviously.
Well, see, you have the privilege of being able to sit there and be like, "I was just a guess.
Take
I
your
have no
hands
idea what
off
the
the
hell they were
shovel."
doing." Yeah. But anyway, we are the
All
Black
right,
Tower
so-
podcast. We are back
Black
recording on a Monday for a change. That is a rarity that we record any day other than Tuesday. But strongest sacrifices require the strongest wills. Even though this isn't like a sacrifice, because I'm looking forward to not really having to do anything tomorrow.
Is that someone we really want to quote on this show?
I mean, who knows? In between technical difficulties and
There's your
feline
movie quote
interference,
for the
half of
night.
the show might disappear at any given moment. So
I'm trying to keep them under control. Like keep your enemies close. You know what I mean?
No, there you go.
There you go.
Well, he's
there
a
you
very
go.
cute enemy to have, so
He is.
that's helpful.
The chaos is contained at the moment.
At the moment, it is indeed
Everything
today.
in perfect balance, as all.
I am not quite Thanos, though I would love to have the drip. But I'm your Bajan Mahale Andrew. Yes, I just said the drip.
I'm not quite Thanos either, and I would love to have a suit to fight Thanos. I am your Amankon Mahale Daniel. Oh Jesus. This is already starting off
I am
so well.
not even remotely Thanos. I am Josh, your Sorovan Mahale. And we are the Mahales of the Black Tower. And if you're listening to us on the radio, you've already heard a fourth voice that is more melodic and enchanting than ours. And if you are watching on YouTube, chances are you're also seeing the source of that melodious voice. And what I'd like to do now is if you could just please introduce yourself.
Actually, I think
And,
you're
tell the
probably
people.
you're probably going to need Kritter to do it for you. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Kritter's cat, because that is who our guest is tonight.
This is Agni. He is actually featured in my icon. If you see like me as a
Correct.
blue Aja, this one, he's with me. He turned off my computer right before this started. And so I scrambled to restart everything, and I think we're fully back. And for now, I'm going to hold him so he cannot turn off my computer. But I, being his +1, am Kritter XD. I do Wheel of Time content all over the place. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch, Instagram. I'm Egwene Alvear on Twitter. Okay, well, now he's done. He's like, now that I've been announced, I can do whatever I want.
He's like peace.
Literally, I'm bored. This is boring. Says Agni, not me. I'm having a great time. And I'm myself on Twitter also. And so, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. And I'm helping plan WatCon. So if you don't have your membership yet, consider it.
You have 59 days to
Figure it out. Figure it out.
And that's me.
Do the thing.
Do the thing, Julie.
Earn much G. Get your WatCon membership.
Yes.
That's what we need. We need someone from the Threefold Talk. We need a memeable face from the Threefold Talk.
That is absolutely right.
Or you can just send anyone who doesn't currently have a membership to WatCon the Toe Intensifies meme.
Just constantly.
Andrew
just once a day, every day for 59 days.
No.
So
Wolf Brother
we're here.
7's wife nailed it with the zoom in and the crop.
Correct.
Literally perfection. I laughed out loud the first time I saw that photo, and every single time since.
It was perfect.
Was there a point
I'm
that
glad
you
I can
stopped?
bring
Because
laughter.
I definitely didn't.
Oh no, Daniel, you shrunk.
I have yet to stop laughing at it.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that winds up with the chair doesn't want to stay up problem.
Yeah, it's
Hydraulic
a constant
chairs.
battle, especially because I have the problem that I like to rock back and forth because I have undiagnosed ADHD. And so I can't stay still in a chair like this, which means that it like gets mad at me and it's like, fine, we'll just sink. Hashtag deal with it. And I'm like,
I get around that by stroking the beard, changing which arm is up, and then doing this for no reason.
There you
all the
go.
time.
I like
So-
all of those. Those are great.
It's really just to show off the tattoos.
No.
No.
That is a flex.
So yes,
That is.
It
Oh
is.
god, here it comes
links-
again.
I got him.
links to all of Critter's fantastic stuff is going to be, or whatever way you want to interpret it, in the description below. You'll see it. Just look for Kritter XD and you'll see links there.
Link
I
in
believe Kritter
description.
is one of the super kind people that has a link tree that makes it even easier to link to absolutely everything.
I do indeed
So-
have a link tree.
Only having to post one link
Do you
versus
have
like
a LinkedIn?
30.
I do. Not
No.
under Kritter XD though.
Probably. So.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I know. It's
Wait,
crazy.
but what
Definitely
if you
under
have
a Gwen.
two LinkedIns?
The first line says, "Guess who's
Under
back?
Egwene.
Back again." Gwen is back. Tell the sitters.
So tonight's topic
Ooh, that's a Watt candy that we'll have to talk about later.
is big. All
It
right?
is larger
Huge.
than life.
And you're gonna need some protection. All right. If
Oh,
you've
yeah.
not read the full length and breadth of the stories.
It's a bit of a
So
girthy.
Andrew, can you
girthy thing.
please
Yeah,
please
I can-
warn our listeners of the taint
Yeah.
that is to come?
I'll do the thing.
Welcome to the Black Tower, a Wheel of Time podcast. All right, let's check this one. This podcast episode will likely be spoiling all of the books in the series, but if Daniel is in charge of the recording, it'll never hit the editing bay. So just in case you're some masochist Patreon supporter who hasn't read the whole series and just gets off on being part of lost episodes, how about you put that spoiler condom all the way on?
Yes. My
Perfect.
favorite of more shotties.
Perfection.
One of his fantastic legendary spoiler warnings. But so
Indeed.
I think this is a cool one because there's actually a little bit of a story of how this accoutrement of individuals came together. Well, how we had Kritter on. That's not really a secret how the three of us are together.
Padre.
Yeah. So, as all great stories begin, this one began at Jordan Con.
Once upon a time.
Jordan Con.
And there we were, sitting at the Lazy Dog, enjoying our nice infiltration of the women's circle lunch with the nice smoked bacon old fashions. I believe that's when we
Delicious.
talked about it.
Yes,
And
probably.
we started talking about having people on and doing background breakdowns. And the three of us came to the realization that we have not done one on Egwene yet by some accidental fortune. And
Was this last year, Jordan Con?
no, it was this year.
No,
Like, it just happened.
you were not.
It
at the-
You weren't
literally
at that
just
lunch.
happened. Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
but we. Okay, sure. Never mind.
Unless I'm remembering the wrong time. Either way, the story is similar wherever the setting was.
Yes.
And
Story
we were
goes, there were some old fashions involved.
and we're sitting there racking our brains like, who would be a great person to come on and talk about Egwene? And out the corner of our eye, we saw Leandra, and we were like, perfect.
Yeah.
Of course, Leandra,
I
of course,
think it was
Kritter.
best is that her headphone earplugs or her headphone ear they were like this. They were like, what? Egwene?
That's
What?
exactly what. Yeah, because these
Like-
are with me at all times, actually, and
I
they
mean,
did.
they
They did in
actually
fact
are.
rotate when I heard Egwene's name. So okay, you've done again.
Oh, they actually have like cat ears that do that.
They do. I've warned
Pretty-
them. They're actually very off-putting, especially for
Oh, yeah.
someone like me. Because we were
So-
we decided. Sorry, I want to tell this story because it's actually very funny. So those ears that are like the cat ears that actually like pay attention to your emotions and like have a thing that like checks your brain functions so that they can like
What?
do the right expressions while you're wearing them. Someone wore them to a Halloween party I was at like 7 years ago. And we thought it would be funny during the game of Cards Against Humanity that we were playing to pass those around a certain amount so that we could see what the judge was actually thinking while they were reading the cards. It was a great idea. We also had to do some legwork with it because there's like a time delay when you put them on for where it like calibrates to your brain. And then once it actually gets an idea of what you're thinking, it'll excuse me,
It'll
it'll
sneeze.
start like doing
It'll
the different
sneeze.
doing the different movements. So it worked for a number of people around the table as they were doing it. And then I put them on. And the way that they calibrate is one of them just goes down, and then the other one sits there and goes
Is it a blinker?
back and forth until it finally calibrates, and then they both go up, then they both go down, and then they both slowly come back up. So it did that. We're good. Wait, it comes back up, and then it just immediately starts going. And I was like, what is happening? Did I break these ears?
You were
And so
really
I went
excited.
through the whole thing like with these ears just going nonstop, and the second I took them off, they stopped moving. And the person whose things they were like, I've never seen that before. So we looked it up, and they were like, oh, that means that you're never stop, like you don't stop thinking. You always have like 8 or 9 thoughts in your head, and it can't actually sit down on one because they're all based on emotions. And I was like, hey, thanks for giving me another like freaking complex about the way that I think about it. With your stupid electric cat ears.
That is,
Ah.
I'm gonna need a set of those ears. I think.
Yeah, they're actually pretty awesome. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, but it was a fun story, and I actually really like the idea of things like that will tell your emotions and our thoughts and communicate them to you, because I think the brain is fascinating. But
Communicates
Egwene,
with Stinger.
Yeah.
It's
So
also
Kritter-
fascinating.
Yeah.
correct.
So Kritter, as the resident Egwene aficionado, as the connoisseur of all
Expert.
things Eggy.
As it were.
Yes.
Mostly because you know her so intimately because you just are her.
I am her. Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
In a way. Yes.
In a way,
Yeah.
we're all Egwene.
In a way, we are indeed all
But
Gwen.
but
I am
Kritter
Egwene.
more so than the rest.
I too find myself discovering things never discovered before and instantly trapped in a chamber of crystal.
Constantly.
I
I too
actually.
find myself
Indeed.
being brilliantly genius and badass in all situations.
You're right. I
totally
also
it.
find myself being incredible with horrible taste in men. Yep.
It's great that we can all relate to her.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
At least in some way. So-
But Andrew was going to ask a question.
I was
or
like, I know there was a
something.
question
Yeah.
that was coming, and then it didn't
We
come.
got derailed.
Sorry, guys, my bad.
Something like a question. We're going to do the thing that all Wheel of Time fans hate
Yes.
and try to summarize anything about the Wheel of Time other
Okay.
than lack of communication. So,
Okay.
if somebody had never read the books and they're like, I've seen this character's name, I don't care about spoilers. I want to know about this character. And if it doesn't sell me on reading the series, I'm not going to read the series at all. So no pressure.
Okay. Yeah.
How would you summarize the tale of Egwene the Badass?
Excuse me. Just a small town girl. No. Sorry, I'm horrible at singing because that was a bad idea.
No, that was
great.
That was fantastic.
That was brilliant.
Okay, so it's your typical small town girl who seeks adventure and ends up getting traumatized repeatedly, but always coming out on top, stronger for it. Eventually, she gets thrust into a position of authority where she didn't ask for it at all, but she accepts it and then completely thrives. All the while, she is inhaling knowledge, which she desperately craves, and is really, really great at most of the things that she does, except for her choice in men. And eventually,
we all have flaws, guys.
we all have flaws. She eventually gets to exact some degree of revenge on her original captors, which is one of the most satisfying passages of any book that I've ever read in my life. It involves fire being thrown out of a broken tower and dragon-like creatures. And then whenever she faces the man that she originally loved, trying to decide how to face the ultimate foe, she completely holds her ground, stands by her convictions, and goes toe-to-toe with the literal most powerful person in the entire world, and does an incredible job. And then in the final battle, he's back on the desktop. One second. He was close. In the final battle, she sacrifices herself, ultimately takes down several of the most powerful beings in the world, and
a lot of less powerful, but
and a
still
lot
scary.
of less powerful but still scary people. And basically, while the main male character is defeating the main antagonist, she saves the pattern of reality. And that's Egwene.
All right. I'm gonna just be
So thanks
done with
for
this
tuning
episode.
in.
Yeah,
That was
I actually
fucking
have to go.
awesome.
I have to go start this series called The Wheel of Time because that makes me want to read it.
Good. Read it. Well, I mean, I hope that if you were listening to this thinking you might want to read The Wheel of Time, that you actually weren't listening to this at all, because I wouldn't want you to be spoiled. But
No, that's
yeah.
fair.
Well, they've
But-
been warned. They've been
But
warned.
if you are someone who has read The Wheel of Time and was sitting there going, how do I explain these characters to my friends to get them to watch it or read the book? Take all of the snippets of that particular thing that don't spoil them and say that word for word,
Do it.
because
Do it,
that
do it,
was
do it, do it, do it.
fantastic.
Boom.
Thank you.
Just record the audio and play it back.
There it is.
Also
We
an
give
option.
you permission.
Better job could
Do you
not
know
be
one
done.
of the things as my first time going through the books, and we meet Egwene, and I was like, oh my god, what a snooty little like mayor's daughter. Like, oh, it was but as you know, as the story progresses, I grow to love her more and more and more. And the biggest sort of parallel that I have made that a lot of people, I believe, can identify with, and you guys can tell me if you agree or not, but I say it's sort of the progression of Luke Skywalker from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, because in A New Hope,
But I was gonna go to Tashi to get
and it was just like, oh my god. And it in interviews with Mark Hamill, they told him, be whiny, like you are a whiny teenager, like we need you to play that up because it's going to make contrast for your journey. And then by the time you get to Return of the Jedi, he's on top of it, he knows his shit. And so it's that same sort of character progression that I had to kind of grow to love Egwene. But yeah, I absolutely do love Egwene. She's the best.
Yeah, I think the first time I related to her, it happened my first read, I believe, because I was a young girl, reading the books, thirsting for adventure, basically, right? But I also just really related to
the small
her.
Town girl,
literally, like same vibes. Not the mayor's daughter, but similar enough. And I just really resonated with her thirst for knowledge. Like the moment she found out she might be able to channel, she was like, oh my god, must know everything, and then she found out that she might be able to dream walk, and she was like, must know everything. And I totally understood that. She just wanted to know everything, and that was the first time that I was like, yes, this is my girl right here. And then from there, she just popped off, as the kids say. And and I loved her ever since.
as the kids say.
It reminds me a lot of the kid that goes to college and discovers like a field of study or a talent they didn't know they had, and absolutely loves it, and literally their entire college life becomes that thing. But like, in a good way, not like the kid that goes to college and discovers they like, shrooms or something. And that's all they ever do.
Weed.
Nothing wrong with
This stuff is
shrooms or
great.
weed, but if that's your entire life, like,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm much like Josh. Like, I'm very much the same way. I don't care too much for book one, Egwene, which I love. That by the end of the series, I absolutely love Egwene, because I think it is a testament to Robert Jordan's ability to do character development. Our love interest is a testament to his ability to not do character development. So it's interesting to see
or
those
just
two
write
dynamics.
romance.
Yeah,
just no.
Dude, there are
I'm gonna say it
some
forever.
people who like duck sauce.
I'm going to say that forever Egwene is an accidental victim of Stockholm syndrome. Little too much dream walking, a little too close to the bright light. Bam, you're stuck.
Ow!
So,
yep.
Wow!
It's like an ancient magic version of compulsion, known as hormones.
Wow!
Known as hormones.
She was
Known as hormones.
She was very young.
Yeah.
And yeah, poor Gwen.
Do you know? Okay, I'm actually gonna come to her defense, because for those of you who don't know, because you all know, because you've all read it,
because Egwene needs you to come to
Egwene
her defense. All right, cool.
has this. Her and Rand are like kind of betrothed, and then they kind of go, oh, JK, like, no, just kidding. And then she like meets Gawain, and she's like, you looking like a whole snack. And they kind of have this like, will they or won't they thing, and she's got this like, she's holding a flag for him, man. She is. And in the end, when it actually comes down to them actually being together, she's like, you are a dumbass. I need you to do what I tell you to do, and I need you to not be a dumbass. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna do what I want. And she's like,
beer.
How can you be so pretty and so stupid? Like, I love that the trope is like flipped around right there. She's looking at him dead in the face and being like, you are so pretty and you are so dumb. Like,
just completely
for real,
ruled by your emotions.
Please don't
get your shit together.
Please don't be dumb. Please don't be dumb. Get your shit together.
Literally.
Well, I've actually always loved that about Egwene, is that she is the girl who got over that. Because when she leaves the Two Rivers, she leaves the Two Rivers because she is ruled by emotion and the feeling of, you're not going to go on an adventure without me. Fuck you. Like, I'm absolutely coming with you. There isn't actually an intelligence necessarily to that. It's not that she's sitting there weighing the pros of going on an adventure and the cons of going on an adventure, and, you know, the pros of getting more knowledge versus the cons of being in danger and things like that. She's just like, don't you dare go on an adventure without me. Like, fuck you. But by like book 3 latest, she's already like, chill. I don't need to do everything I've ever, or like every decision that I make does not need to be 100% with my head and 100% with my experience and have no emotion involved in it at all. But emotion is dangerous, and I need to think about things a little harder. I need to be the person who actually sits there for a minute and thinks, because I've been in danger before, because I've run into things, and I don't want to do that again. And Gawain is 100% the guy who's just like, emotions, never learn from them ever. And that's like,
question,
again, that's
Daniel.
one of the reasons why Egwene is such a wonderfully, like, by the end of the story, she has grown so much, and we do love her so much. Yet at the beginning, she is Gawain as far as like the emotions go. He just never fucking grows out of it, and she absolutely does. And that's why we're like, hell yeah, girl. And we're like, Gawain, just go away forever, please. And then he does,
And then
but
he
takes
does.
us down with him,
Yeah.
and it's horrible. Anyway, sorry, Andrew, you were going to ask me a question.
Yeah. Can you double check what microphone Zoom is using?
Oh, here we go.
I'm just making sure, because I hear like reverb echo more than I usually do, which is never.
Interesting.
Reverberate.
It is my microphone, my Yeti.
Okay. Oh, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
You know, mine was doing that last week as well. It was weird.
Interesting. I'm check this out. But yeah,
You
that
know,
was all
someone
I
brought it
needed
up
to say
in
anyway.
the chat. Okay. Oh, and now you're muted. That's funny.
Yeah, that's the way to get Daniel distracted.
Gotcha.
It's like, hey, yeah, I get reverb in your microphone, dude. But
So one of the things that I really love in this is someone pointed it out in the chat, and I want to bring it up because it brings up a topic that we have discussed at length in the Black Tower podcast, and that is, you know, did Egwene really get over it, or was it literally beaten out of her by her various captors and Aiel training and Aes Sedai training and all the things? And one of the things that I kind of want to point out is, you know, she had, I don't want to talk about the Shanchan too much, because that I don't think counts as training. But with the Aiel wise ones, and with her short time in the White Tower, she was under the tutelage of some of the wisest, most badass, strong women the world has to offer. She had people in her corner teaching her the right way, punishing her when she went astray, you know, providing consequences for her actions, kind of a thing.
When
And
they caught her.
she learned a lot when they caught her. But she learned a lot. And you know, again, the theme that we've run with a lot is that the difference between good people and bad people are good people have that strong support. They have that network of people who are willing to hold them accountable and teach them, and also, you know, exchange knowledge, learn from them, and grow with them. Gawain, he had mentors. He had amazing mentors. Somewhere along the way, he cut ties with them, went off on his own, said, I can do it better, and is almost universally hated. Sorry, John.
Yeah, almost.
But almost universally hated. But it's a story of tragedy and a story of triumph. The difference being that strong foundation of mentorship and that social structure of someone there to help them and lift them up. And Egwene is a direct benefactor of some of the greatest teachers the world had to offer at the time.
Yeah.
Facts.
Well, I mean, so we do a lot with when we talk about Rand and the
Mic
Trouble,
drop.
to accredit like what each of the Trouble and Asmodean teach Rand. You know, Asmodean teaches Rand how to channel effectively and to learn new weaves and this kind of stuff. Min provides all this emotional support and teaches him, you know, things she's learned from books and history. Elaine teaches him how to be a ruler, and Avienda teaches him honor and how to be a good, like in the field leader kind of thing, and to stand up for what he believes in, and to be more steadfast in his own beliefs, which is pretty detrimental at the beginning, but he gets there eventually, you know, right in the nick of time. But for Egwene, she has a lot of the same, and it's obviously not in the form of a Trouble, and it's definitely not from Gawain, but all of the phases that she goes through, the trauma and the teaching and training, all teach her very important aspects of what makes Egwene by the end. So she takes, and from the Shanshan, as horrible as the entire event is, she learns that there are so many different ways to channel, that even if, as Robert Jordan wrote it, typically women are weaker in flows of fire and earth than men, there are tremendously effective ways to overcome any sort of weakness there. And so she gets the idea of skill can triumph absolute power every time. And she deploys it effectively. And that's what teaches her that there are really effective combat weaves that no matter what, she can really effectively use the entire power. The wise ones teach her honor, but they also develop her fundamental talent of being a dreamer, but mainly dream walking, which from then on becomes like the instant transmission of the Wheel of Time. You know, she can go anywhere, see just about anything, figure out everything, and she uses it with amazing efficiency thanks to their training. And then her time with the rebel Aes Sedai and with Suan teaches her to be that effective leader, to look out for the different avenues people are portraying things. And all of this kind of, well, not kind of, it culminates when she's captured by the Elida Tower. And all of these things wind up coming together to all be effectively used. The humbleness and the honor and just the pure resiliency that she develops from the wise ones is what allows her to survive, and not just survive, but thrive and win over the vast majority of the tower. Her training and looking at different ways to use the 5 weaves and actually participate in combat, which is something that in general, the White Tower is terribly lacking, like terribly lacking. And she shows how with, you know, some of the weakest people in the tower, she mounts a better defense than any of the full sisters that were there. And like, again, that is such a huge moment for her, because that's when she really comes out as not just the calm, cool, collect leader, not just the really resilient, I can take whatever you dish out, but I'm here at the top because I earned my way to the top. And it's a really good like redemption, like kind of thing for Egwene. For those of us that really didn't like her in book 1 or book 2 that much, and it's like you get to see the culmination of all the bullshit she's gone through to become like this epic character that I would say 90% of people love by the end of the series.
And if you don't, you're a dark friend. Just saying.
True.
Well, I wouldn't.
It's true.
I would name you Dark Friend, but I have a feeling the Dark one would be ashamed to be associated.
Okay, Kritter, I know this is a big question because there are so many options.
Okay.
What do you think is Egwene's most badass moment? Like I said, I know it's a big question. I know.
I think just based
and
on
there's so many to choose from.
yeah. Honestly, the two that stand out to me are the Brandon Sanderson, like the Memory of Light and Gathering Storm things. But I think just based on the fact that she had just been beaten down repeatedly by Elida and the people of the tower and came out like above it all, basically, and literally laughed it off. I think her fighting the Shan Chan is possible. I mean, it's so close, but it might be her best moment because it's literally she went from the absolute bottom to the absolute top. She taught the novices how to link in the span of like a minute or whatever. They were the reason that the tower like stood as long as it did, I guess. Like even the greens were just like, what is even happening? Like how are they doing better than we're doing? You know what I mean? Like what's going on here? And just she was
like Egwene up there.
Literally, and it's just like her and Vora Sangreal, right? And she's just throwing fireballs out the side of the tower, getting revenge on the Shan Chan, which was a long time coming. And that had happened right after her conversation with Varen. So I think that's probably my favorite part of the books, period. So even though her end is spectacular, I still think that the Gathering Storm Egwene is peak Egwene, if not tied for peak Egwene.
You know, I love where you're going with that because there are so many things that make that scene unbelievably amazing. So she's dosed with fork root. She can barely channel enough to light a candle at this point in time. And she's going, I have to do something. I have to do something. So she goes, I wonder if I link with someone else. Can I get up? Hey, come here for a second. And all the novices are like, what? Hell yeah, Gwen, what's up? What do you need? Mother, you know? And so then she's like, Mommy, this is how we're gonna link. This is how you Mommy, sorry, Mommy. She links and realizes she like I believe Recapacidi said she unforks herself. And I love that. It's true. And she gets a full circle of novices. She's at the head of this thing, and she goes, and they're all like, we're ready, we're gonna fight back. She goes, oh no, we're not ready yet. And she goes to the storeroom. She opens a gateway to the storeroom, grabs Vora's Sangreal, the most powerful female Sangreal. She holds it up and she's like, now we're ready. And then she proceeds to rain down unholy fire upon the Shan Chan in such a
holy,
magnitude,
actually.
In such a magnitude that all the Aes Sedai on the ground are like,
who's that? Who that?
What is that? Damn, there's a bonfire. No, that's not a bonfire. Someone's channeling. Who is that? I don't know. Like they're
hilarious. So there's a
looking
point
at it from
like,
a distance going.
It's even more hilarious that like some of them are sitting there like, oh, the Green Aj is putting up a valiant defense. They're doing their job. And the Green Aj around them is like, nah, bro. That's not us.
Well,
that's
not
us.
I also love the moment because Egwene has been with the Shan Chan for a long period for a short period of time, but a very intense period of time. And she knows that, you know, all women who can channel and all of the women who are holding leashes on the women who can channel, who are coming and attacking the tower, can see her. She knows that when they look at her and her circle, she is a blinding light that is just such psychological warfare to them, because she's like, oh, you came at the tower and you're seeing all these like little flits of women channeling and you're like, oh, that's not a big deal. Look at them down there just doing whatever. Yeah, look at me. Look at what you've made, motherfuckers. Like,
look at me. I'm the Amarillion seat now.
She's like, you better, okay, like, you come to the White Tower, you better come correct, right?
Right.
And they didn't. And she scared him away.
Come preparing for a fight.
And one of the sweetest parts, too, is that she warned the shit out of every Aes Sedai.
Oh,
She's
my
like,
God.
oh, you're worried about me. and the Rebel Tower, who have been instructed to not do anything, to not rescue me. We were just going to blockade the ports. But the Shan-Chan want to put us all in literal chains of servitude. And Elida's like, yeah, no, my palace is being built right now, and you're the biggest threat to the
Give
world.
me some soup, girl.
God, Helena's. I hate her. Hate her.
Yep.
But
I'm not
she's-
saying
It's
that
great.
anybody deserves
They're
to
there.
be taken captive by the
They're
Shan-Chan.
there.
But if somebody ever did, it would definitely be Elida.
Somebody
And-
who's not a
and-
dark friend.
Right, exactly.
Fair
Yeah, all of the dark friends
And
deserve it.
Leandra.
Actually, that's not 100% true.
That's
I take
what
that
they
back.
said.
Because no
Sorry,
one is
Kate.
so far gone to the shadow that they cannot be brought back to the light. So no one should ever actually face the Shan-Chan. But also, like, fuck Elida. Fuck her so hard.
Literally.
She's the
We
worst.
hate her.
Yeah.
She is a
Make the tower
fugly
great
slut.
again. Yeah. Do not trust her.
Sorry.
The tainted seams is starting to affect Kritter.
So
No, I'm pretty sure she would say
and
that
that's-
stone cold. So
I literally just did.
There's the interesting thing about Egwene's progression is you talk about you can't overcome triumph without severe tribulation. You can't triumph and overcome without severe tribulation to impede you. You have to overcome that to become stronger.
have
And
to is a
so
strong
when you
word,
start
but it does
pinning-
make the redemption that much greater when you do.
But that's what I'm saying is you've got Egwene. Not only is she being mentored by the most powerful women in Randland, but she's also facing the biggest challenges in Randland. We should start calling it Egwene Land, really.
We should.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
There's a case for that.
I'm
We'll
fine
talk
with
about that. That'll be a Watt candy later.
okay.
But she is chained as a demane. She is forced into leadership. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that's good for you. No, she was literally served up as a lamb to slaughter and had to navigate or die her way out of that situation. Then she went to the proper, the White Tower proper, where she was literally beaten and healed so she could be beaten again on the daily. Like she faced
and laughed the whole
so
time.
much, and it's one of the things I absolutely love.
Did I
about the
mention
TV
Egwene is
show
really
Egwene.
good at psychological warfare?
She's an inspiration, honestly.
She is.
For that and other
She
things.
is.
Oh,
and,
yes.
and it's one of the things I love about. It's one of the things I love about TV show Egwene because they made the biggest deal. I think it was episode 3 or 4, but they made the biggest deal of talking about Egwene's sickness as a young child, and they said straight up, Egwene is unbreakable. Egwene is Quendiar, and
Or wasn't it like bone break fever or something like that?
Breakbone
Yeah.
fever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was perfect foreshadowing for the rest of her arc. Like, hopefully, we get her whole arc in the show because, oh boy, if we get to see that Shan-Chan battle at the White Tower, it's going to be incredible. Like, holy.
I would see
shit.
like
Honestly, I feel like
I'm
there
hoping
are
for a massive increase of the CGI budget for
Well, absolutely. Like, it would need, but it would also be like season 7 or 8, like one of the final,
Yeah.
probably the
Yeah.
second last season. And if Game of Thrones is any indication, they'll ramp the budget up as the show gains popularity
Yeah.
and has
Imagine-
longevity.
Imagine when Watt series breaks the story that they filmed an iconic battle scene and they spent as much money on that one event in CGI as they did on like the first 2 seasons.
I
That is an
can't
absorbent
wait to
amount of money, but
yeah,
I
it
can't
is.
wait to see like the tower, like up into the air, the top of the tower darkened with all the Shan-Chan flying around, and then all of a sudden this light, this beacon just
God,
shines
yes.
forth, and all of a sudden like a mini gun of fireballs
So you're saying the very tip of the tower is going to shine brightly, and then a bunch of stuff is going to shoot out of it.
Going with that.
And then shortly after, the tower gets circumcised. Everybody knew what they were doing whenever they designed the tower. Okay, there's not a soul that didn't know what they were doing, and there's not a soul that didn't look at it, nod, and go, "RJ would approve."
All that is
mean-
all true. Yeah.
Because they didn't make Dragon
All
Mount
right.
skinny enough.
Right. All right, guys. So I have a question for everyone. This goes
on that note,
along-ish
I'm gonna go refill.
with sounds like a plan. The question that Josh asked Kritter. I will start just so that you have an idea. So we've already gotten season 1. That's already happened. They have included or haven't included, moments from the first book that may or may not be important to Egwene, blah, 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 blah. What are the 3 scenes that you are convinced will be in the TV show for Egwene? Like the 3 large-scale events. And again, this isn't necessarily what you want to be in there. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. What are the 3 things that you are convinced will be in the show that they cannot and or will not cut? Mine would be the capturing by the Shan-Chan. I don't know if they're going to do any of the rest of the capture storyline the same way as the books, but capture by the Shan-Chan, the battle at the tower, and the argument between her and Rand on the fields of Marilor. I think those are the 3 that are going to be in the show that are some epic Egwene moments. Andrew, what do you think are going to be sort of like the ones that they will not cut? And you can use mine. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to include those, but what are the ones that you think are going to be there?
I'm going to pass it off to Josh to try to think
okay.
of ones that aren't exactly the same 3 that you just listed.
Fair enough.
I will say the first time Egwene finds herself, the first time she's in the dream world using the dream ter'angreal, and she comes across one of the wise ones. That absolutely must be in the show. That absolutely must be in the show. I think it was Amis that she comes across.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden all the dreamwalkers are like, you need to come here with us now. And she's like, oh,
We
okay.
have met with all of the wise ones, and we say, come now.
The Earth King invites you to Lake Laura. No, not that one. It's been rebranded. It's been refurbished. We're good.
The wise ones bring you to Ruidian.
What's another? Oh, Egwene has toe.
Oh, you stole it. Oh, that's what I was gonna
That's
do.
okay.
Yeah. I was trying to be unique, but that's okay. I still have one.
I very much appreciate that, but also
Now you see my struggle every time. That's why, sometimes I try to go first, just so I'm not the one. Son of a bitch.
I've still got some in
and-
chamber.
I want to say, and I apologize if this is taking another one, but her finding or discovering the counter to Balefire, because that scene is written so specifically when she starts looking into the tremors where the fabric of reality is literally being shredded in front of her, and she goes, if I just, and I want that in the series. I want to see her, right now we're seeing young Egwene reacting to things because she's, it's a reflex and she's surviving. By the time we get to that point in the series, I want her to be thoughtful. I don't care that there's a battle around me. I see something and I can do something about this. And this will do
if you
more
see
damage to the
something,
opposing
stop
players.
something.
Crystallize something.
What is this, the Eagle Eye program?
Oh,
I thought you weren't DOD, Daniel.
I'm not.
Those
That's
are my
literally what the Eagle Eye
my three.
program is. See
those are my
something,
three
say
right
something.
there.
Yeah, I said
Yes.
see something, stop something. It's clearly different.
Kritter, go ahead.
Okay, well, the Varen tea scene, but nobody said that
Nice.
yet, right? Like that one's
Correct.
obvious. I mean, and it's a part.
Well,
it's a part.
that's not
of the
100%
battle.
true. Yeah, I was gonna say
What?
our
Oh.
live chat has
In
said
the
it
live
multiple
chat. Well,
times
that one
because
is-
they're in it. But no, I'm not
It's
trying to take
iconic.
that away from you. You're 100% there. Agreed. Excellent. But yes.
So that one for sure. Gosh, I was gonna say like you have no toe because that one was just God. That one was so
'cause it's
powerful.
so good.
Literally.
Get up before we think you're bragging, girl.
Literally. Oh God, I loved it so much. Okay, irony. It's always here. I agree that the Battle at the Tower is a must for me, and I need her. I want her to take down as many Forsaken as possible. So since her end or whatever is kind of a part of her discovering the anti-balefire weave, that I'll say like when she literally breaks a Forsaken's mind in the world of dreams, because that was pretty impressive in my mind. Like, oh no. Like I'm in charge of you and you have no thoughts. Like, oh, it was so good. Like I love that. So yeah, those are mine.
Excellent. Andrew?
All right, Andrew.
So I don't know that these are going to be in order. Those are probably not.
That's fine.
I definitely agree with a lot, if not all, of the scenes that y'all have all said. But I'm going to try to list different ones just for the sake of being different. I think what's going to be a really cool scene, and we all know how much I love the kind of political intrigue. The actual ceremony of her ascension to the Amerlin seat, and the promotion of Nynaeve, Elaine, Fowlane,
Yes.
and the other one,
Elaine
that's
and
what I-
the other one.
It wasn't
Yeah,
Nicola,
and the other
was
one.
it? Nicola? Or
I think
is
it
that
was
somebody else?
Hold on.
Might-
I will look
No, it
it
was-
up while you're on the next
So
one.
Fowling and the other one. That's
Theodrin.
Theodrin sounds
Theodrin,
better than
yeah.
yeah.
So, so that scene, it is slightly before, relatively slightly before the discovering of the Flame of Valon, but her reaction to the death of Galwin. So I think that'll be a really good scene, and I think that'll do like a really good job at reinforcing our humanistic side right before bye.
Bye.
And then I'm really
Also,
excited to see.
By the way, just to confirm, yes, it is Theodrin, Phaelane, Egwene, Nynaeve. Those are and Egwene
Elaine.
herself.
But yeah.
Elaine.
Those are.
Yeah.
Did I say?
You said Egwene.
Oh yeah. okay.
Understandably.
Well,
Yeah.
I
she-
now raise
she already
myself to
done got
Aes Sedai.
promoted.
becomes Aes Sedai because of her, because of her raising. But yes, then she raises Nynaeve, Elaine, Theodrin, Phaelane to with her, which is always really
and then-
funny because you're also like, you don't even fucking like Phaelane. Like, what do you do?
The appearance of
was a
impropriety.
political-
Egwene.
He's
That is
avoiding the
what
appearance
Egwene
of
is.
impropriety. Okay.
Well, and of course, I think that Egwene also even recognizes that they are deserving of it, even if she doesn't like them. And so not only is it's even more than that to Egwene, because yes, it is the appearance of impropriety, but it's also like she realizes that it would actually be impropriety if she didn't. So she's like, yeah, no, this is the right thing to do.
This is it.
Therefore, I will do it because my name is Egwene Alvear and I'm fucking dope. Like, anyway, sorry, Andrew, you were
Yeah, Andrew, you go. I have one after you though that I just thought of that I think will make for great television. But you go.
next.
And the third one, the first time she stands up to Nynaeve and says,
Ooh.
"Are you really gonna be this kind of naive?" And Nynaeve just goes,
I
"Motherfucker,
just
what?"
words slapped the smile off your face.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I was
nice.
gonna add
I like that, Andrew.
that like we talk about the battle at the White Tower, but I think also like after she gets made the Amerlin by the legitimate tower or what, like the non-rebels.
Yes.
And she comes out.
I know where you're going with
and
this.
gives her big speech or whatever. And she's like, she makes the rebels have penance and everyone's mad about what she does basically. And it's like, I think everyone watching on TV will be mad at her for what she does. But then when they think about it, they'll be like, God, but that was it. That was the right thing. She once again did the right thing, even though it's terribly unpopular. And
Yes.
and just, she's just
Gwen really went, you can't make everyone happy, but you can piss everyone off, and it's a lot more.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Yep. Well, I also love how, one of my favorite things about that is, again, Egwene knows that it's the right thing to do. She does. And I'm not taking that away from her. I just defended her on that a moment ago. But also, I feel like a very small part of her came about to this is the right thing to do, because she's been taking such a beating in the White Tower for the past a while now. And she's just like, how do I make them feel what I've felt? To a small degree, and also make it the right thing. And you're like, that way. That's exactly it. Congratulations. Excellent job.
One of the things that I'm just now thinking about with respect to scenes that we'd like to see in the show. And there isn't a particular scene, but I love in the books where Egwene does some maneuvering at the little tower, or she does maneuvering at the proper White Tower, and Siuan kind of goes,
at the little tower is always
nice, like that's good thinking.
Slay.
And
Swans in the back.
Right though. Now we've seen in the TV show, we've seen what a badass Siuan is. Yes. And how extremely, I don't want to use the term harsh because I don't think it's harsh, but how very absolutist she can be, where she says, I'm the boss bitch and you're going to do what I tell you to do. She is so amazing. And the strength of
I think harsh is fair. Harsh isn't always
completely
bad.
Unquestionable, right? The strength of her willpower and conviction is unquestionable. Especially with the Othrod scene. Seeing, and I'm sorry for sprinkling those feels upon all of you.
Yeah.
But seeing
don't be afraid to catch feels.
Egwene do something badass and having Siuan go, nice.
It's gonna be a good feeling. It is.
I got chills just thinking about it. I got chills just.
You know what else gives me chills? Thinking about the black Aja reveal, the decapitation after decapitation. Literally, she's like, swear the oaths. No, swear the oaths. Get over here, swear the oaths.
Yes.
Okay. And then if Shiriam's in the show, and we find,
yeah.
That's gonna be a scene too. There's so many good scenes with Egwene that the people who
I
are
was gonna
she's
say
boring. I'm like, you can. No, she's not. You just forget. No, she's not.
So
I think it's actually
taking something away from Egwene. Sorry, Daniel, go ahead.
I was just going to say really quickly, I take it back. There are actually no scenes with Egwene that should be removed from the show. It should just be the rest of the story should be.
There's one.
All the ones with Gawain should be removed.
No, that's not the
no. Okay, hold on just a second.
So
Andrew, were you going to say something?
Andrew was going to say something.
I was, but it's on a different track than that.
Fair. So real quick, Kritter, then what is your one scene?
Let's
I'd love to
the question
see that.
We just
actually,
what?
I just want to know Kritter's one scene.
Oh, this is when you hear it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the scene where Egwene is panicking because she thinks Nynaeve is going to out her to the wise ones in the world of dreams, and instead she turns it into a lesson to Nynaeve that she doesn't know the world of dreams well enough, and so she manifests a nightmare that ends up being pervy dudes who paw Nynaeve, nothing.
Yeah.
More than that happens,
Yeah.
but that alone is something that might have been like, oh, Robert Jordan thought like this is a fitting scare for Nynaeve, but like I don't think he understands that a woman would not have done that to another woman,
Well,
even if she was trying to teach her a lesson.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that didn't age very well.
That's exactly right. It did not.
I
age
will.
well.
I will.
But have her conjure a nightmare. Like if she's panicking and she's trying to be like, she's trying to make Nynaeve not talk about it to the wise ones because she wants to like slightly shame her about her lack of knowledge. Like conjure a bunch of spiders. Like do something like that.
Or whatever,
Don't make it like sexually violent, because again, no real woman would ever do that to her friend, even if she was a rival at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I don't think any real person, any real human being would do that
with a heart, at least.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I say human being because the people that would do that I don't really consider human beings.
Enough.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a well, not really a cop out, but there's a qualifier there that nobody knew I had. So, So if you do advocate that kind of shit, yes, Andrew doesn't think you're actually a human being. So
Seconded.
feel however you want to feel about that.
Yeah, the quorum.
Predominantly, go fuck yourself. So.
But Andrew, you were going to go ahead and talk about something a moment ago. What was that?
So this is one of the things about Egwene that has been a subject of debate for as long as the series has existed. It is very much alluded to in the TV show, so it's going to be a bit of a two-part question. And one part is going to be books, the other part is going to be TV show. And it is the tantamount Egwene Ta'Veren question, theory, statement. And of course, I predicated that with the speaking of taking things away from Egwene, because there's no secret,
right?
At least for people that have listened to those episodes where we've talked about Ta'Veren and stuff, about how I feel about it, at least in the books with Egwene. So in the books, this is the first part of the question. Do you think that Egwene is truly Ta'Veren or should be truly Ta'Veren? And then same thing for the TV show. Do you think Egwene is Ta'Veren in the TV show?
You've already answered that, Josh. We're asking Kritter.
I know. Sorry, that was
Okay,
I'm asking everybody
because
it is an Egwene question.
I'm curious, like, if you could just give me a thumbs down, thumbs up. Did you think that she was Ta'Veren in the books, you guys? I just want to see. Josh?
I thought no.
Okay.
I like the theory that she might be, but I think no.
Okay, and then in the show, yay or nay?
And I can explain.
I can explain
want
it, but I
don't like it in the books because for me, so much of what makes Egwene such an amazing character is she doesn't have the plot armor crutch of Ta'Veren.
It's the agency.
Rand does epic things, he's Ta'Veren. Perrin does epic things, he's Ta'Veren. Matt does epic things, he's Ta'Veren. It can all be explained away by a tantamount plot crutch that they're given by the story, which doesn't erase like their own agency, but it does, I think, diminish how much of their own self is fully responsible for what happens. Which, that's a relatively unpopular opinion.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Egwene, because she
not
doesn't
actually
have
unpopular. It's unpopular with your co-host over here, but actually, as far as the fans are concerned, you're actually 1,000% correct.
Yeah. But like backstory to that, you and I also disagree, like kind of fundamentally what being Ta'Veren means for the character.
Correct.
So it's reasonable that we disagree.
Yes.
But I think in the TV show, it does allow a easier, more swallowable explanation of how badass Egwene is on the screen. It helps tie her into the rest of the Enfield 5 badasseries.
Of course, again, I understand why it's, there are easily cop-outable things, but Moiraine does say there were rumors of 4 Ta'Veren in the Two Rivers, and she leaves with 4 human beings. That 3 of them in the books are 100% Ta'Veren. Right, 4.
Yeah.
And so again, I'm pretty sure that the TV show is going for that. I'm not saying that they can't cop that out later of like, oh, but it was just rumor, or Moiraine was wrong. She's not actually as smart as she is, or blah blah blah.
It's not like half of the series isn't based on an unreliable narrator.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
All of that is fine to a certain extent, but I'm pretty sure that the show is saying that the way that they have written it up till this point is intending that Egwene is a Ta'veren. And possibly naive, though.
I think instead of going down to 3, they'll go up to 5. I think
they'll go up to 5.
I agree with that. I 100%.
So okay, so here's my take on this thing. Before the show started, I think there was a preview or something that said, there's going to be 4 Ta'veren. Maureen was talking, she said 4 Ta'veren, or maybe Fane was talking and he said 5 Ta'veren. Either way, we heard that there were going to be more Ta'veren somehow. Can't remember how.
Everybody was like, "Will I'll see." Oh,
right. Exactly. And so I immediately thought to myself, like, am I okay with this? First of all, because I had at first, when reading the book, really rejected the idea that only 3 boys could be the quintessential main characters because the pattern is shaping itself around them. I didn't like that. It didn't feel right to me. There should be girls who are just as important as the boys. Come to find out, they were just as important. They just weren't knighted Ta'veren. They just didn't have the pattern doing its stuff for them. They were doing all the stuff by themselves for themselves, which in hindsight made them seem even more powerful to me, because they were just killing it, right? Just on their own. Like, they didn't have the pattern making things happen for them. I loved that about them, but that took a long time to like manifest and become obvious to me. And I think in this day and age, the show is changing that to make them Ta'veren, which takes away some of that, like, yes, they're doing this all by themselves and the boys couldn't have done it. Maybe they could have, but like in my mind, girl power, you know what I mean? Like, the boys couldn't have done it. And instead it just puts them on evil footing right out of the gate. And it's not going to turn off people like the element that only boys are Ta'veren in the eye of the world turned me off initially. So it's like, it's kind of like a good PR move. if we're talking business.
That's actually a really good point, because presumably, and Rafe has been very vocal about this. He's planned out an 8 season arc. Now, can that be expanded? Sure. If success continues, it absolutely can.
I don't know if he has enough source material to do that, guys. I don't know.
I mean,
heavy sarcasm.
15 seasons sounds perfect.
We've already seen motivation.
I think there should be 14 seasons with 14 episodes. That would be great.
We've already seen emotions and emotional foundations fast-tracked.
Correct.
So, and Kritter, you just brought up a really great point. I never really kind of considered from a visual aspect, from a TV aspect, that Rand, Matt, and Perrin, it was like, boom, boom, boom. They just stepped into it and they're all happy and amazing people. And then Egwene, her struggle.
What books did you
really
read?
A part of
they just stepped into it and everything was easy.
But they were automatically the main characters.
No, indeed. Correct.
But that's again, that when I say I grew to love
fell down a flight of stairs into it.
That was part of that story. It was her sort of struggle, and so when people were like, oh yeah, she's definitely a Ta'veren, she just was never identified as a Ta'veren. I'm like, okay, I see it. In the TV show, though, I gotta say, I think it kind of makes sense to make her Ta'veren. We don't have the same amount of time to expand on who she is as a character. We've already shown that we don't have that kind of time with Perrin and his story. We've already shown that we don't have that kind of time with some of the other aspects in the stories. So
but we do. The production doesn't.
The fans do. The fans have time.
What is this? 37 episodes of filler? Sweet. I love every one of them.
Yes. Give me 14 seasons with 50 episodes. Make this One Piece Part 2. I'm in. I will be there for all 1,000 episodes. Rafe, let's.
Hey, Rafe. If you do one episode of The Wheel of Time for every episode of the Black Tower podcast we've done.
So if this is Rafe's version, can we with Zack Snyder, can we petition to release the Sarah Nakamura cut?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. The Nakamura
cut. Hashtag release the Nakamura cut.
I like that.
Oh man.
Actually, I hate that because I hate the idea of the Snyder Cut in general, but I will take it for Wheel of Time.
But
give me all the content. Whatever
Yes.
you
Yeah.
have, give it to me.
It all to my
It's more
eyeballs now.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But no, like I definitely agree.
Okay.
There is a thing, and I didn't get to watch it, and I didn't get to go to it yet. But there was, I know, a great panel at JordanCon talking about why adaptations are necessary.
Yeah, I was
And
on
this
that
is-
panel.
Yeah,
Weird.
Oh wait,
it's
Kritter.
almost weird that I brought it up while you're
Were you
So
there?
weird.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nah, that,
No,
that was
Please.
not me. That was Leandrin.
Indeed.
But it's a quintessential kind of thing that anybody that does any adaptation of any written work has to deal with. It's very easy to see what's going on in characters' heads and their motivations and why they're making choices whenever you can literally read their thoughts. You can't do that in good television. I'm sure there's some movies
Yes.
or shows that have done that very well to some extent, but in such a massive series, it's nigh impossible to do without making it droll and boring, like most people think the political arc with Elaine is. I actually really enjoyed it, but I'm also a political nerd, so there's
Same.
that. But
More Brigitta.
You
Always
probably liked
good for me.
episode
Yeah.
2. of
Also
Star
true,
Wars.
yes.
yeah.
Totally fine. With
But-
Can we
I
actually
think it
just
does-
have an offshoot of just Birgitta and Leandrin? Can we just do just Birgitta and Leandrin buddy cop series? Because that sounds amazing.
Good cop,
I
bad
really,
cop.
I really want the
Oh
Birgitta and
my
Matt buddy cop
God.
series, like
That-
Falcon
that's
and Winter
also-
I would
Soldier.
die. That would be amazing.
It's like Falcon and
That
Winter
would be a
Soldier, but
Falcon and Winter
Birgitta and
Soldier.
Matt.
Yes, it is. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
I will say right now that I will allow
At the
you
end,
guys
Matt picks up the
guest
Two Rivers
spots
longbow again.
on the Black Tower Clone Wars style spin-off TV series that is inevitably going to happen. I'm just saying.
Inevitably.
Right.
You guys-
Instead of the
that-
501st, we have the Band of the Red Hand.
that-
Minus a
Rad
couple
Batch.
points. Minus a couple points. But yeah, no, I think so for the very same reason that I don't like the idea of Book Egwene being Ta'Veren, I think it's also the very same reason why it is a good idea for Show Egwene to be Ta'Veren. Because it gives Rafe and the rest of the team a way to forward her character, to get her into all of these situations that would take a fair amount of setup, a fair amount of kind of background building to get to where she is. And yes, it is more immediately rewarding, which is almost absolutely necessary for television shows. I mean, how many people watch Naruto or One Piece or Bleach, and all I have is anime references because I'm a fucking nerd. Where you're like, I'm
There's,
so
like,
sick.
five
Fucking
people.
weeb.
I'm so
Let's
sick
say like 5.
of all of the filler.
Yeah.
In all of these episodes, it would be necessary to build the background.
That's me and
to
my brothers,
really
Daniel. Putting us on blast.
Book
like that.
Egwene
Thanks,
on
buddy.
screen
That's 2.
would wind up being more filler-esque episodes. So I understand it. I think it's good. There's also, the nice caveat that Brandon Sanderson and Harriet and everybody else gave us, like, think of this as a full turning later. Like, shit's a little different.
Yes.
And in some cases, way different. Looking at you, episode 8. But it was still good TV. I'm not bashing entirely episode 8. I just preferred a little different experience. But maybe
Hey,
one day.
Because you gotta have faith, the faith, the faith.
I saw an interesting idea the other day.
Gotta
Like somebody was like, "Hey, I would love to see the Wheel of Time done as an anime," and I'm like, "My two loves, please."
I see that all the time. People just desperately, like Stormlight, Mistborn, they want
Some
every
people-
fantasy series ever to be anime. And for me, like, I can't quite get as emotionally invested in anime characters. I love me some anime. Like
Same.
Attack on Titan is one of my favorite properties of all time. Love it. I mean, I've got like Mikasa right there, but it's at the same time.
Mikasa in
Mikasa.
Tsukasa?
Yeah, I've got Mikasa in Mikasa.
God damn it, Daniel.
So anyways, like I just for me it's way easier for me to emotionally connect with a real life person, and so I prefer, because I'm a character driven person. I like the characters the best rather than the big magical spectacles, which would be easier in an anime. I prefer live action if possible.
Same. Also, you
Do you
have
really
the
say that after
extra
watching
thing
Dragon Ball
of-
Evolutions
Yes.
and the Avatar: The
Easily.
Last Airbender
Same.
movie?
We don't have to
I mean,
talk
to be
about
fair,
that.
they
we're
did-
not
Why would you
talking-
bring that up?
We're not talking about anime.
To be fair, they did start as
that
anime
were
and then they tried to do
brought
live
over
action.
to live
so-
action.
Exactly.
So I just committed
don't-
a sin against all great series. I
Nope.
apologize.
So mad.
I
brought
have
that up.
so much toe.
Like insane amounts.
You do have.
I have the
toe.
big toe.
How
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you even wearing your shoes right now with so much toe?
That's a dad joke.
I'm not.
Okay,
Actually, my
sir?
socks just broke.
You need to call all your ex-girlfriends because that was a dad joke naturally delivered.
I'm 100% convinced that I don't have any children, but every single day I'm like, do I though? Because I'm really good at these. Like superhumanly good at these.
Uh,
Yeah.
So-
Anyway,
okay, so final
digress.
thoughts on
that is what we do.
tangents at the Black Tower? What? No. So final thoughts with Egwene.
Let's let
Critter,
Critter
would
go
you like
first.
to
Yeah,
go
I was gonna say.
first?
Daughter of Brandolwyn, Owlfear.
Or would you like the final word? You can have the final
No,
word.
I'm
Your
okay.
desire.
I don't want to take that away from, I'm sure you've got an excellent outro planned. Final thoughts about Egwene, just she's
Quick,
the
you're
best.
gonna
You're very kind. You are very kind.
I just
Also,
think,
I'm not sure you've ever heard an episode of the Black Tower.
I was gonna say,
podcast before.
now we know she doesn't listen to our show.
This is incredible because
cool.
you've
I
been here
comment
before.
on your YouTube videos all the time.
It's true, you do.
No, we are.
Anyways, I just wanted to say that every time I see somebody say that Egwene is a bitch, it makes me want to punch them in the face. And I think just because she is a strong woman who doesn't just fall over every time Rand wants her to, that doesn't mean that she is unworthy or mean or overly angry or bitchy. I think that just means that she's strong and has her own independent thoughts, which she's allowed to have.
Yes.
And so we haven't said that yet. We haven't brought up the hate that every now and then gets me riled on Twitter. And I think I just want to implore all of you to consider why you might think Egwene is a bitch before making those comments, and realize that she's the best character in the Wheel of Time. And that's it. Thank you for having me.
Is it
This was
any
great.
better if I made the statement that Book Wayne, yes, the Book of Wayne, the
Book
book
Wayne.
one Egwene
The book
acted. I
This
have
is
since
not
revised
Mistborn,
the way I
Andrew.
say this because it's
Yeah.
not what I mean, but I have in the past said that Book Wayne Egwene was really bitchy. I have revised how I say that.
Well,
It says, I don't really care for Book One Egwene.
I was gonna say, I mean, even Andrew over here brought up two horrifying things that should never be brought up ever, which were Dragon Ball Z and Avatar: The Last Airbender, and even he knew
Whoa.
that going ahead and talking about
It's as far as movie translations.
Yeah, I know what he meant, but it's not what he said. And we all know the internet only listens to 60% of what you say and then crucifies
That's
you
true.
as much
God
as they
damn it,
can.
Daniel.
But even
gonna-
Andrew
you're gonna-
knew not to bring
It's gonna
up
be the headline of the
Egwene
episode.
hate, because there is absolutely zero. In fact, there is negative evidence and or foundation for it. So yeah, no, we completely agree with you here, Critter.
Thank you. It makes me so
Because-
mad. It makes me
yeah.
want to just
So,
lash
because
out.
of people
Anyways.
that are as fantastic as Critter, I revised the way I expressed
Exactly.
my feelings on Egwene.
That is
So-
really
Thank you.
awesome, Andrew.
That's what we do. That is the
I
mark of a
appreciate
good fandom.
We learn.
You have these
We grow.
discussions
We do learn.
and you
Yeah.
revise and you say things in better ways. So I have learned before somebody goes back to whatever episode that was and is like, well, Andrew said it. yeah, I fucking did.
Oh,
and I
it's
got better
come out
after.
of my
Like,
mouth before.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, and the
So-
thing is like I will own the term, right? Like I'll like I'm thinking about actually making merch that says bitches get shit done with them on it, right? Because like
Do it.
if you can reclaim like a term that has a negative connotation, at least people want it to, you know, and just recapture it for yourself and like derive power
I can promise
from it.
you right now, if you do
Like
that,
tainted.
I'm buying one.
Okay.
I was
love
gonna
it.
say
It's
this needs to
hopefully
go
soon.
from a thinking about making.
I just need to
merch
design
a
it. That's literally it's
doing.
literally pre-designed, but it's gonna happen.
So-
So if I see it on somebody else's website, I'm gonna be pissed because it was my idea. But,
Critter,
Yeah.
go
You
ahead,
and I
John.
need to discuss. Or
like
if
it.
you want someone who's actually talented with Photoshop, contact
wife.
New Creations by Jen.
Oh,
okay.
actually, we are in contact. My merch is
Good.
forthcoming. I just need to
Excellent.
make
Yeah.
that particular design, which I haven't made yet. But I
You
Merch
heard it here at
buffering.
the Black Tower first.
I
Critter
doubt we're
XD merch
first.
is happening.
it
It's
is
a thing.
New Creations by Jen. It is coming. Let it be known.
So let it
Yes!
be written. So shall
Are you
it
gonna
be
have a
done.
frosty
Can-
mug? Please
I
tell
am.
me you're gonna have a frosty mug.
Can't
Yes!
confirm.
It'll get
Uh,
added to my collection.
We watched part of the conversation, which was, "Hey, yes, we're working on it." Happen over Korean barbecue, so it was very nice.
That's
You
true.
ever
I
go to
mean,
Jordan
yes.
Chan? Jordan Chan?
Jordan
Con.
John.
Jordan
I
Chunk.
haven't been able to speak
So
English
Andrew's
all day.
tainted.
No, because I was this way at work too. I was
Okay.
actually worse at work. Yes,
Yes,
When
you
go to
just touched
JordanCon,
Sardine too long.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're tainted.
when you go to
You
JordanCon,
already
go check out Berserkers. It's really good. Right across the street, Korean barbecue.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Though if you do bring
Yeah,
more than
Breakers.
like 6 people, Breakers, sorry, not
Breakers.
Berserkers.
Yeah, breakers.
If you do
That
bring
would be
more
a
than
cool
like 6
name, though.
people, yeah. Anyway, if you bring more than like 6 people, they're going to throw you in the presidential room. So, no, I
Yeah.
just
That is
like
true.
momentarily went off on the idea of what Berserkers could be.
And you did pause there, like you kind of
Yeah,
shorted
no,
out
it's
for a
good.
second.
Well, you know how
So
they have the places where you can throw axes and you can drink like beer. And then you have the break shit
Oh.
rooms where you can like throw glass bottles and shit. That.
Combination
Yeah.
Pizza
Korean
Hut and
barbecue.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Word.
I'm at the
Sorry.
Pizza Hut. I'm at
We
the
serve Taco Bell and beer.
I'm at the
The
combination.
best things
Taco
for your
Bell.
stomach and bowels, for sure.
I'm sorry. I need to stop.
That was
Is there
great.
anything else you wanted to throw in about Egwene?
I said my piece. We love.
I
I love.
said
Her.
my
I love her. That's all.
And Andrew, final thoughts on Egwene, or did you already express them as well?
Well, I mean, essentially, but Egwene is that character for me that really book 1 I couldn't stand, and then she has her moments throughout the rest of the series where I'm like, are you fucking serious? But I am definitely in the TV show, like, oh god, the amount I have defended Rand in the TV show, biased, but because I love Rand, and at that point in the series and the show, don't really care for Egwene, but I
Yet.
really love how redeeming Egwene's character arc is. I think top 10 anime redemption arcs. Absolutely. Without it even being anime, it still makes it into the list.
Wow.
I do very I would say by book 4, I like Egwene, and at least by book 6, book 7, I love Egwene. I don't hold her culpable for Goldman, I hold him culpable for himself. But
Yes, this is the way.
Thank
This
you.
is the way.
This is the way.
Daniel.
All right, Daniel.
I will agree with everything that has been said prior. I will also just say that Egwene is one of those characters that I really enjoy because I find something new about her every reread. I know that that's true about every character in the Wheel of Time, including all of the Aes Sedai who have S names, mostly because I forget them completely before my next reread, and so I'm figuring out everything.
And
about
Chesmal
them.
Emery.
But
I mean,
but no, honestly, there are 3 characters that I would say I legitimately learn more about and understand further and feel closer to every single reread without fail. And that is Lan, Egwene, and Varen. every single time I read it. Like, I'm not saying that the other characters are lame and you don't ever find out new things or realize motivations or whatever, but there's a difference between the tier list of people you never stop understanding better and people who are kind of the same character the next time, even though they're still badass, even though they're still awesome, blah, blah, blah. But again, Egwene is one of those characters that I feel closer to every single reread without fail, and usually it's a big jump, and that is a huge thing to be able to do with a character in general, and to do with a character that, again, I know that we've said it before and I don't want to be misquoted or anything, but she's hard to like in the eye of the world. She is, but by the end you like forget any issues you had with her at all, because you're like, oh yeah, no, she's over all of those and everything's great.
Like, and she was a child, a literal child.
Also true. Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, it's an amazing accomplishment to be able to do with characters, and Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson do that in the story. And as I said, especially when you're talking about, again, I have not only read the series twice, like we're on 4 or 5 full read throughs at this point, and there has not been one of them that I haven't been like, God damn it, Egwene. Like, how do you keep doing this?
She's
she
an
can't
onion.
be allowed to keep doing this.
It's got so many layers.
So, she makes you
as
cry?
I said, yeah,
all of yes, she
Yeah.
does. I
I'm
feel
not
like
every
she's one of the
goddamn
most
time.
emotionally charged characters in the series. Also,
I'm not
But
saying
yeah, so
I
So
don't
I'm just saying.
understand her book one. I'm just saying I don't like it book one. She's not
But yeah.
bad. She's just written that way.
Okay.
all right,
So,
Jessica Rabbit,
first
how about
off-
you calm down.
Daniel, just so you know, the Crystal Barista loves Egwene book one. So just everyone here needs to understand the book one, Egwene is Crystal Barista's favorite character right now. Just
Cool.
Oh, did we
throwing
just
that out
break our contract?
No, the fuck we didn't. Our main sponsor, yes, our main sponsor loves, so therefore by extension we love. No, just kidding. No, I'm gonna try not to get emotional here, because Egwene is someone that I absolutely love. When life is hard, when things are difficult for me, when it's dark, when I'm depressed, when I have problems, when I have things that I'm facing, it's Egwene that I picture. It's Rand that I picture. It's these. I feel like they're the two most tortured people in the series. Now, there are a lot of other people who are also very tortured. Don't get me wrong, but Egwene in the tower, and she's literally just being beaten, and all she has to do is say, "You're right, I'm wrong, I'm not the Amyrlin, I'm just a confused little girl." And Elida has been so condescending to her to say, just renounce your claim and I'll forgive you and you can be a novice again. And
Repent,
it's such
and
an
you
easy
shall
thing to
be
do.
saved.
It's such an easy thing to say the words, I am wrong and I will not fight you anymore.
Crystal Barista, you heard it here first. Josh said it was easy to say those words.
But she has such an immense strength of character. It's admirable. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you've come from. She was in the right. She knew she was in the right and refused to compromise that for any piece of self-convenience.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone had that strength of character, the world would be a much better place.
Can I actually just even
I
jump
don't
on that for a
how
second?
you feel about
Because I want to bring up that not only does she do that in the tower when it's being forced upon her, but one of the places that I love Egwene the most is the scene that we've already talked about of when she knows she can get away with it and doesn't. When she tells the wise ones voluntarily, knowing what the consequences will be, because she has such strength of conviction that it's not even just to get out of something. It's not even just to, it's happening right now and I could convenience myself by not doing it. She walks into the fire. That is who Egwene is. She absolutely says, this is the right thing to do, and I will not shy away from doing the right thing. And that is a level even higher than just, I have the strengths of my convictions not to denounce what I've done. It's an even level of, I have the strength of my convictions to admit to you who doesn't know that I have done something. And that scene is, I bawl like a little girl every single time I read that scene, because it's just a whole level higher.
Yeah.
But
anyone I was just going to wrap it up real quick. Anyone who has a problem with Egwene does not understand Egwene,
and has a problem
Yes.
with the
and
Black
I
Tower.
say that,
And has a problem with me.
I say that, I say that as a
Definitely if you have a
member of
problem
the
with
Black
Kritter.
Tower podcast.
definitely.
And I will not, as Egwene, I will offer no quarter to anyone who has any. You can have differing opinions, that's fine, but if you want to get insulting and hateful, you have no place with me, because lover or hater, you real must recognize real. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
You have a place with me, but
That's
it's only so I can laugh at you. So. Everybody needs a good laugh. But thank you all so much
Thanks
for
for being
listening
here.
to this episode. Critter, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to come and hang out with us. I hope you enjoyed it at least as much as you enjoyed the last times.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you so much for having me. And next time you want to talk about Egwene or Leandrin or Brigitta or whoever, just hit me up. I'll be around.
Okay, some notes. Make notes. Write that down. Write that down.
Already
we haven't talked about Brigitte.
We're
yet,
scheduling
so
her on the Brigitte episode. Let's go, because we already did
Perfect.
Leandrin,
Perfect.
but
Fair enough.
did
But,
we? I don't
yes.
actually remember.
No, we interviewed
Yes.
Kate.
You literally interviewed.
Fleetwood.
Well,
That was
we
our.
did
we
that.
haven't done necessarily a background breakdown
did.
on Leandrin, did we?
We did.
Okay, cool, great.
yeah,
Yes.
because we
I thought
did
probably-
Leandrin and Karine at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That didn't
Yes,
sound
it
right.
was a-
I
it was a-
remember
I
a
mean.
specifically Leandrin. Yeah,
We did.
Awesome.
Yeah. But Critter, once again, you do fantastic work. You make some of the most hilarious TikToks. It is nice to see that you have a replacement Rand hat.
I do. Thank the creator.
I'm super jealous. You did give up half the TikTok props of the world to save the world. So we thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a
but,
minute. Snakes and foxes had something to do with this?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't Critter didn't see our luggage, and we also didn't see snakes and foxes at the carousel. So
Oh,
Seems sus to me.
whoa, wait, hold on. Did you go through a doorway? Did you agree to give up your luggage to some foxes
make a
or
deal?
snakes?
Was
In
the
exchange
treaty
for
written?
Foxes are treaty
Sharonda?
Not intentionally, although you know how they can be.
Right, exactly.
It never is. It
I
never
didn't
is.
walk through, but I was tackled. But
Critter, remind the folks at home where all they can find you online.
Oh,
Where all?
okay. On all the websites. In fact, I'm on TikTok and YouTube.
Oh, you're on the internet?
And I'm in Twitch.
Name
and,
every website.
and I have a Discord and I'm on Instagram and I have two
I'm
different Twitter
sorry.
accounts and
Couldn't
I'm Egwene Alfier on Twitter, which I said before, which is why I was particularly
See.
interested in coming on today, but also because she's my favorite character, which is why I picked her in the first place. So I'm all over the place. Come say
Where's
hey.
the wheel and chill?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she actually just said all.
Did
of
I
the-
not get a
all of
wheel
the
and chill
websites.
ribbon from you? I
I'll
thought
bring.
I did.
I'm bringing them to WatCon. I'll bring
Oh,
you.
here
I'll
it
give
is.
you an
I
extra.
did. I
Okay,
got
good.
one.
You did. Good. Good.
Damn
There
it.
it is.
I finally thought I
Ours
had
is
a
a
ribbon
ribbon.
that Josh didn't. But,
Oh,
That's a good
oh
one.
yeah,
Hope for that.
I didn't specifically call out Wheel and Chill, but on YouTube and Twitch, on Tuesdays, many weeks, although like we're not every week during the hiatus, but we have the Wheel and Chill show where Taviran Tavern, Wine Spring Cafe, and I talk all things Wheel of Time. So that is on my YouTube as well.
All things
And you've
Wheel
seen-
of Time. Name every character.
God.
You've seen
That I
Severe
could not do.
Tavern.
Oh, you like Wheel of Time?
Yes.
There's an
You've
S
seen
to die
Taviran
with an
Tavern.
S name, and an ice to die with an S name, and another ice to die with an S name, and Chesmal Emery.
Yep, I think you covered
Oh,
it.
my goodness.
You've seen Taviran
There it is.
Tavern.
I got 'em all. All
he
five
came
of
on the Black Tower before, and we talked
Correct.
predominantly about the ending of the season 1 TV show. But definitely go and check out his TikTok because it is fantastic. Really good discussions. And check out his Instagram because you get to see epic Will and Chill. Why do I always say chill? There's no E in chill.
Wheel
What the
and
fuck?
Chill.
Wheel and Chill.
Wheel and
The Wheel and
Chill.
We make some epic
Wheelie
artwork
cheelie.
designs for Will and Chill. I still really
you guys make
want
chill?
and have to get one of the holographic style.
God,
t-shirts.
I know. I can't wait
One
until I
so
get
bad.
mine. It's gonna be awesome.
But links to everything
want to
that
cheat.
Kritter does will be in the description or show notes below. So definitely go and check out Kritter if by some accident you haven't come across everything that Kritter does. It's
Right.
freaking hilarious.
Also,
try
if
my
we missed
best to
something about Egwene that you love, comment in the post below. Comment below.
The
Tell
down there
us
area.
what we didn't talk about. Maybe we'll do another background breakdown on Egwene.
Remember?
But that's going to do it for us tonight. From all of us here at the Black Tower podcast, super huge, ultra mega pint thanks to Kritter for giving up some time and coming out and talking about Egwene with us. And as always, it's an absolute joy for us to have you here. And you're always welcome here at the Black Tower. But
Thanks again for having me.
oh yeah, anytime. But I have been your Bajan Mahale, Andrew.
And again, we just want to reiterate, thank you so much for being here. We hope that you have appreciated this week's dose of taint. And we hope that as you leave here, you're just a little bit more insane than you were when you first arrived. Thank you for tuning in. I have been your Sorovan Mahale, Josh.
And just in case you haven't gotten yours yet, please know that your test kits to see if you can feel the flame are in the mail. You will be contacted if we find out that you have the Spock. And then you will be expected to report to the Black Tower as soon as you get your letter. So have fun, be good, come on down. We hope you're having a lovely, wonderful
And
morning.
the Black Tower letter supersedes the Hogwarts letter. I'm just saying.
If you get both, though, you might be the most powerful being in the universe. But yeah, so from all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been Daniel, your Amin Khan Mahale, and we hope that you are having a lovely morning to all of our new recruits and to all of everyone else out there as well. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You've been having so much trouble just fitting